Good afternoon, everyone. So we're getting the last match day in this weekend before the international break, and off the back of the European draw and everything as well, I want to touch on a slightly different topic, because I touched on with you yesterday. Sometimes, guys, when all the attention is focused around a certain area of the market or a certain group of players, it can be a great opportunity to pick up some other players who are maybe not quite in the spotlight at a slightly better price. Okay, 2 seconds. Yeah, let's do that. So start off by looking at the footies, down again a little bit today, so people were just also pulling money out. I think maybe for Cheltenham or something like this, get some money on some horses or something. So the topic we're going for tonight, today, guys, is Premier League upgrades. Okay, so what does that mean? We're going to have 2 episodes. I've got 6 players I want to chat to you about, who are currently in the Premier League, who in the summer can be upgraded. You know, they'll probably move from a low to mid-table team, and you'll see who we're chatting about with the next 2 videos that we cover this, and they'll probably move into a better team, somebody who's in Europe, somebody who's a bit more popular, a bit more fashionable or whatever. Okay, so what I've done for the video today is I've just did screenshots like we tend to do with these videos with recommendations, just for you to have a look at. It saves me jumping between apps and different screens and everything as well. Okay, so it's more kind of slideshowy today, guys. Okay, so we'll jump into the first one, and it's our boy Abdoulaye Doucouré. Okay, so as we record the video, he's trading around 167, and as you can see, over the last 3 months he's had a nice pre-established ceiling there of, let's just even call it £1.80 to keep it safe. Okay, over the last 3 months you can see the big spike there where he's been touching into the £2 realm. His right back smang in the middle of January, when he's probably been linked with, you know, Chelsea or, you know, Man United or whoever he's been linked with in the past. Okay, but this guy's been, he had a solid season last year for Watford, along with Richarlison. He was definitely touted as one of their best players, and would they hang on to him and all this type of thing. But obviously he stayed, and he's had a great season this season as well so far. And the links haven't really went away, guys. You know, he's still been linked with bigger teams and different teams. A really strong, combative, you know, centre midfielder who can score goals. You know, as often as he does. He's not you know, 15-20 goal a season midfielder, but he's definitely can contribute now and again with some game-changing performances. Okay, so if we look at Watford, you can see right there he's number 7 in terms of how well he's performed over the season. But when you compare that with the top 2, Capoue and Digne, they're only just over the 7 mark. You know, they've only got 3 players that have played over 7. You know, so Watford have had a good season, and what this tells me is obviously they're a very across the board average level team, if that makes sense. They don't have 1 star, 2 stars that really carry them away. Like Delafeu there is at 682 average rating, and he just scored a hat-trick the other week there. They probably scored really high, like 8 or a 9 or something on this. So it just shows you, like, Watford as a team are quite evenly spread across the board. Okay, so I wouldn't read too much into that. If you look at them individually, okay, the actual stats we've got on them, okay, so 26 starts, 3 goals, 6 assists, which for a defensive to box, you know, midfielder is a very good return for a team like Watford. You know, I think they're sitting about 8th for something like the table, maybe 9th. Shots per game is nice for a player of this position. Tackles per game is perfect, over 2, and then dribbles per game is nice as well. You can see he likes to carry the ball and is trying to contribute to the team going forward, as well as defensively saving bacon as well. So 26, he's at the peak of his powers. He's right amongst that kind of prime. So a team like even like an Everton or a Wolves or something like this would do well at be getting their hands on him. Would see that as a bit of a coup. But then you've also got like maybe an Arsenal or a Chelsea or a Liverpool or even a Spurs, you know, could easily be going for somebody like this, you know, bringing him into the fold at that age. Maybe a wee bit old for Spurs, what they normally buy, but for the price they could potentially get him at, and what he could offer them over the next 2 or 3 seasons, would certainly tick some boxes for them. Okay, and then if you look after the international break, Watford's 30 days of fixtures, they've got 5 Premier League games. Okay, so Man United away, Arsenal at home are the 2 big ones. Okay, and as we've seen in the past with some players, if you are playing in a big match and you do well, your team might not get the result. That can have a positive impact on their price. Okay, but especially the games at home to Fulham, away at Huddersfield, and then at home to Wolves are big opportunities for them to make an impact on the index in terms of PB scoring and goals and assists and this type of thing as well. Okay, so he's got a great batch of fixtures there. when we come back from the international break. Okay, so between now and then, guys, and this is what it's all centered around with these players I'm going to chat to you about, is you're looking, if you're interested in these players already before me highlighting them to you, or if me highlighting them to you piques your interest and you think, oh, I'm going to track that player, I'm going to watch them, then between now and the international games happening is when you want to be watching for the dip, because if they're not involved in international football, you'll probably find people will close down a position to move their money somewhere else that's active, and that sort of thing happens on the index. So what you're looking for is to try and catch them on a lull, on a downward turn. So then when the spotlight comes back on the league again, you're in a great position to make a quick turnaround. So that first 30 days is nice, and again, as I say with these players, we're looking at the summer window, so that first 30 days, if you can get a couple of goals and a couple of assists in there for a player like Doucouré, then it gives you a nice buffer, a nice platform to hold that position for a further 3 months, 4 months, whatever your goal is, whatever your time scale you're going to play with him is going to be. Okay. The next one we come to is Ryan Fraser. Okay, and I was really close to picking him up when he was right down at that bottom there, 147, but I wasn't sure how much lower he could go. Would he go lower? But he's bounced back really in the last week or 2 weeks or so. He had a great game. I don't know if it was that one there. He scored and made 2 assists or something like that. He's on really hot form, and he's popped back up from that just under 150 level to basically just over 160. And he's had a great season. And if this guy stays at Bournemouth next season, I would be very, very surprised. He's what, 24, something like that, 25. So again, he's at a great age. He's rapid. He's strong. And again, you could see him fitting into a lot of teams, especially I'm thinking like Spurs and Liverpool. He's definitely right up their street in terms of what he offers and what type of player he is, and the sort of price you could hopefully pick him up for. Or if he'd been Scottish, he'll be a bit cheaper than if he was English, So, yeah. So then we look at Bournemouth. Again, have had a very, very good season, similar to Watford. If you look at the spread of their average ratings, they've only got 3 players that have a 7 at the beginning. And all 3 of them have had a really good season, so it just shows you when as a collective they're all doing a good shift, and that's how they've been getting results. There's not one player running away with it. Okay, but there might be a bit of a contradiction when you see the next page. Ryan Fraser, 28 starts, 6 goals, 10 assists, and that is just, for being at Bournemouth in a wide position, especially the height of him, 1.5 meters. He's a tiny wee guy. He's just rapid. He's strong. He's had a great season. Again, if he's not linked to teams in the summer of that kind of ilk, like Spurs and Liverpool, and I don't really see him leaving for like an Everton or another like a similar team to Bournemouth in terms of stature. I really see him as like a Liverpool or a Spurs. I keep saying it because that's just who I believe would be interested in him. Buying him as initially like a backup option, but again, as you've seen with different teams and different players over the years, you might sign as a backup option, but if you back yourself and then you take the right opportunities when they come to you, you can quickly see yourself starting in a team and making a really big impact. And a great example of that's Andy Robertson at Liverpool. He was signed from Hull when they get relegated, and he was seen as a backup. He didn't play for the first 3 or 4 months, and then I think it was November last season, he started playing, doing well, and then before you know it, he's been touted a year later as the best left back in the world. So these things can happen, and with the stats and the form he's on and the age he's at, if he gets under a really good coach like a Pochettino or a Klopp, you could definitely see him making another step up in terms of level and performance. Okay, and again, as you look at him here, he's very versatile. He's mainly played wide left, okay, but they have put him in that number 10 position. They have put him on a couple of occasions on the wide right. So he offers a lot of different options, which top teams look at nowadays, especially teams like Spurs that don't buy people. When they buy people, they want to be playing a handful of positions comfortably. And then again, after the international break, you look at the fixtures. He's got 5 in that 30-day period, and these are they're just all attractive for dividends. Leicester, Burnley, Brighton, Fulham, Southampton. They're all games where you would, if you were just putting on a bet, a traditional bet, having him on at anytime goal scorer in any of those games is worth a couple of quid in a bet, or is worth putting on an accumulator for doing an anytime goal scorer. Leicester under Rodgers, we still don't know what we need to know about all of them yet, and Burnley, we know what they're like. They're solid, but I think that Burnley and Bournemouth have got a good history of exciting matches between them in the Premier League, I'm sure. Brighton, yeah, copy and paste. Fulham, again, copy and paste, and then the derby against Southampton, so again, you get a couple of goals and a couple of assists out of Ryan Fraser in that 30 days, and then if you do want to hold him in at the summer window, you've built up a lovely platform of dividends behind him. And again, between now and then, he will be playing for Scotland in the the qualifiers. So if he does well in the qualifiers, you might expect to see his price taking a little bump. So that's a judgment call from you as an individual. When do you want to pick him up? What price are you looking for? They're playing on Saturday as well against Newcastle, and that's why his price is up at 164. I think in the last 24 hours he's went up maybe 5 or 6 pence off the top of my head. So again, you maybe wait for that match day hike to dissipate. People, he doesn't win best forward, or he only scores, or he only gets an assist and people dump him or whatever. You might catch him a little bit cheaper before anything else, but it's somebody I would encourage anyone to be looking at picking up between now and the start of that 30-day cycle, certainly. Okay, and then the last one is Wan-Bissaka. Okay, now Wan-Bissaka is not a surprise when I tell you he will be linked to teams in the summer. Everyone loves him now, for how amazing he's been this year for Palace. But the reason I'm highlighting him to you right now is if you look at the top right there, he is on a slight downward now because he never made the England team. I think everyone expects him to be in the England team and take a real shoot up towards £5, but he's not been in the England squad. He's taken a little bit of a setback. So with Palace playing FA Cup this weekend and he's not in the England team, you could definitely see this as a good opportunity. Or if you believe he's still got a little bit of falling to go before he bounces back up, it's somebody definitely worth keeping your eye on, definitely worth tracking. Now in the FA Cup, if he does well and he puts in a really good performance, and the price he's at now might not come back again, you need to bear that in mind. So another one to really look out for in terms of the next couple of days between the FA Cup and then the international break. We then look at Palace, and he's by far and away their best player in the wider perception of the football audience, like me and you. And then when you look at the stats, that backs it up. I find it surprising because Milivojevic has had a good season, takes penalties, is a combative, attacking, defensive mid. He's really all round. So I find that a little bit surprising, not overly. And then when you see this is when you really see why he's so highly rated. Okay, so a 7.3 rating out of 27 starts in the Premier League in his debut season at 21 is mental. 2 assists is a little bit disappointing for a fullback in this day and age in football, but when you look at that tackles per game ratio, I don't think I've seen a 4 for that in the time I've been scouting on whoscored.com. That is just crazy. Dribbles per game for a fullback, 1.67. It's a shame we don't have a crossing stat here because that would be really useful, but that is amazing, and that's why his price is so high, guys, because he's a engine at right back. He's a unit. He's absolutely huge, and I think him and Van Dijk have got the same stat that no one's actually beat them in a one-on-one this year. And again, you can see him playing for a handful of teams quite easily. Most likely he's going to be linked with like a Man United, then really, if you're thinking about the top 6, really anyone else, maybe Chelsea. Chelsea's right back off the top of my head escapes me right now who it actually is. Is it Azpilicueta's been playing right back? Yeah, I think it is. But in any case, yeah, he's definitely going to be linked with a move. And this is a guy who, by the way, if the money was right for Palace, somebody came in with something stupid like 60, 70 million, he could go abroad. He could easily sign for, I'm not saying this to, maybe even Dortmund, but that type of stature, your kind of second elite tier European side, like one of the Milans or a Flete, or say like Dortmund, a Lyon, it's maybe not. French teams don't really spend big money, to be honest with you, but that calibre of club, Palace won't be in a hurry to sell, so if it is going to be sold to somebody, it will be a saga, which gets you media attention, gets you a good opportunity to win some dividends in the media in the summer, when the summer is all media days. That's all it is. There's no matches on. Okay, guys. And then we look at Palace's fixtures after the international break is coming up. Huddersfield at home is a gimme. Newcastle away, tough game. City at home, tough game. And then we look at Arsenal away, tough game, and then Everton at home, tough game. But again, like I said before, guys, for a player, especially the price band he's in, if he performs well in these matches and he bosses it, or he keeps big players quiet, that will not hurt his price at all. If anything, it will only underline his value and really cement his place. Okay, and that is it, the video for today, guys. Okay, I hope the weekend's really good to you. I did a tweet last night predicting the knockout round of the Champions League. I got 1 out of 4 right, so I'm okay with that. Big announcement on Monday, guys, with the share split. I'll maybe chat to you between now and then. Have a great weekend, stay out of trouble, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care, bye bye.